Alright, check it out. If you told most people that you just spent your last weekend driving 1,000 miles in some small sports car for fun, they would probably think you're kind of crazy. But for those of us that are true car people, true car enthusiasts, it sounds sort of like the perfect vacation getaway. If you've seen any of my videos before, you know that I firmly believe the most enjoyment with cars comes from driving them. I truly cannot understand people who own great cars but maybe only put like 1,000 miles a year on them. That means that most of the time the car is actually sitting in a garage, and I think that that's kind of a shame. I have to say that I am really missing driving. Between COVID and the wildfires here in the Bay Area, it has been really hard to get out and go on a drive. In fact, the wildfires have burned through a lot of kind of my favorite roads, and it would have been both dangerous and irresponsible for me to go out there while people were trying to evacuate from their homes. So I am looking forward to the days where we can get back to doing rallies like this one that I did last year. Now, when I say rally, most car people think of this. But the kind of rally that I'm talking about is really more like a scenic drive with stops for pictures and lunches. It's not a race, there's no rewards. And yes, there are other types of rallies called regularity rallies where you need to get to certain checkpoints by certain times, but this is not that. Generally, you want to try to get to the lunch spots sometime around lunchtime, but other than that, you're sort of free to choose your own adventure. Day one, they give you a route book, which is handy because a lot of the areas have no cell phone service and you can't rely on Google Maps. Sometimes you drive with others, sometimes you're on your own. Sometimes you get lost, sometimes you find some new alternate routes. But in the end, these things are all about the journey, not the destination. If I had to sum up what's awesome about these rallies, it really is the nice people, super interesting cars, and great driving roads. You always have adventures on these types of rallies, and that's part of the fun. The cars break down, people get lost, you stop and help. This is what really makes these experiences memorable. So, fun people, everybody I've met on these rallies has been really cool and very welcoming. No matter who you end up driving with, or you stop and chat with at a break, the shared love of cars and driving is clear. And then there's the cars. Some rallies are focused on certain types of cars, but the rallies that I've been on are a pretty eclectic group of vehicles, from old Alphas to modern McLarens. The organizers typically want a car with a sense of occasion, and speed doesn't really matter because these roads are the limitation much more than the car. And then the last thing is the great roads. We stop in interesting places, small towns, and you feel like a little bit of a celebrity when you do. And you get to see places that otherwise you wouldn't, places that are off the beaten path, and some of the best driving roads in California. Alright, so there's a lot of different rally organizers out there, but I've gone a few times with this group called DWA. That stands for Driving While Awesome. These are also the guys who put on the Radwood car shows. Radwood is kind of a spoof of the Goodwood Revival, which is an event that's held in the UK where people dress up in period 1950s and 60s attire, and they bring their vintage cars from that era. But Radwood is focused on the rad era of the 1980s and 90s. Anyway, they also do a podcast, I'll put a link in the description, and they organize a couple of rallies per year. Super great group of guys. And what I really like about their rallies is the diversity of people and the diversity of cars. Anyway, if you like driving, you owe it to yourself to sign up for a rally. And if you can't find one, just organize your own. Sure, it's fun to be with other car enthusiasts, but planning an extended weekend driving adventure with your spouse will be just as fun.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring the bell so you can get notified when we post a new video.